1. We had Julian LeBlanc do a great episode there on Instagram Live. We'll get that updated on YouTube tomorrow. We're doing the second part of the interview on YouTube, which is where we'll obviously do the majority of our interviews moving forward. Again, thanks to our sponsors here at Privateer Harley Davidson, Under the Gee, Old Road Barbecue, and Nova Scotia Spirit Company. Second guest of the night, super excited to bring him on. He's a brown belt. He's the owner of Clinch Training Center. He's been the owner a long time. He's been around the jiu-jitsu scene and kickboxing and MMA scene for a hell of a long time. Promoted many events back in the day, a lot of events in different companies, and just an overall great person who's built a lot of the scene and built a lot of fighters in the area. So let's bring on one of the guys I'm pretty tight with here, Kevin Thibault. Good. How's things, my man?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Looking great. Hanging in there.
I try, buddy. I try. I was gonna say that's quite an interview you just had with Julian LeBlanc, man. That I can't keep up to that energy, man, that he has. But
yeah, he's crazy. Good. I like that. I didn't get to bring up the Dave Leduc.
Well, I was just gonna say, is buddy right there. I don't know if you can see behind me. That's the Myanmar flag that I got from Dave.
Cool.
And that red sash right there is what he wore to the ring when he fought Cyrus Washington in Myanmar. So we have a small connection there with Dave, right? So Dave's a good guy and comes out normally once a year. I think he was here twice in 2019. But along with him and a bunch of other great strikers, we get down here at least once a year at Clinch.
Yeah, he's an absolute wrecking machine, and he hasn't fought in how long's it been since he's fought? I don't think guys will fight him. Isn't that his problem now?
Yeah, I mean, Dave was talking to me about that he was having a hard time finding matches. So I mean, it definitely by the sounds of it, he's having some issues. Yeah. I think Savoie was his last potential fight, wasn't it?
Who?
Was it Savoie that he was supposed to fight in New Brunswick? No, that would be too light, wouldn't it? Who was his last opponent he was supposed to fight that backed out?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. Does he do? I didn't even realize he did. I knew he did MMA, but I didn't know he was still interested in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was supposed. Not Dave. I'm sorry. I mean Julian. Julian.
Julian. Sorry. Savoie. No, his last opponent was a guy named Dejan Kajic out of BC.
Okay.
Yeah, who's
quite
decorated fighter too, out of BC, but yeah, there's lots of issues behind that. I didn't want to get into it. None of my business. So
yeah, Dave's last opponent, he fought a guy from the UFC. He fought him in the company that's WCL. He fought him and can't remember what the guy's name is.
Was it Seth Baczynski or Seth Petrozelli? I can't remember which one.
I think it was Baczynski. I always get it mixed up. I think it was Baczynski. I don't think it was Petrozelli, because Petrozelli was a pretty good striker back in his day too, I think.
He was like the original UFC guy. I think UFC Ultimate Fighter 1 or something. I don't know if he's Canadian too, or am I thinking of Caleb something he was Canadian. What was his name from BC?
Caleb Sarns. Sarns was the guy that ran away in the cage on his last fight, never came back, I think. But I think there were some issues. I don't even remember that fight. That was such a long time ago. Remember, he was it was some big pay-per-view or TV show, and he kind of just ran away the whole fight. But that was the last time I've ever seen him.
That's right too. Yeah, it's better him than me. But I got to ask you, man. You've been involved in the sport a lot on the East Coast. You just opened up. You moved, I guess we'll say.
We reopened. Let's go with reopened. I like reopened.
I'll leave it for you to say. There you go.
Yeah, well, we reopened Clinch. We're now called Clinch Training Center. No longer Clinch Martial Arts as a name. It's Clinch Training Center. Still Muay Thai is headed by me, and I'm still training with the great guys that I train with. Right now I'm doing a lot of work with Crew Jeff out of New Era Combat. He's kind of he's keeping me in shape during this COVID time. He's got a whack of online sessions that he does daily with him and a whack of coaches there. And I'm doing that, and he's keeping me in check every day to make sure I'm doing something, not just sitting around eating chips and getting fatter, right? So, I'm doing a lot of work with him, so I got to thank him for that, man. So those guys, and like we said, Dave, Gabriel Varga has, been one of the guys that's kept my striking up along with those other guys. And and the big thing was the switch of jiu-jitsu affiliation, which is the largest change in the new academy.
Yeah.
Which is, there's a long background to that, and I wish my former partners well. We just, things happen and people make choices, and I had opportunities on one side, and I just had to go on the other side, and it's turned out well, man. Like, I wish we could be showing what the Lovato Association, we haven't really even mentioned it, but we are an affiliate under Rafael Lovato, and we were down in Oklahoma for his huge opening, 10,000 square foot facility down there. Man, there was 25 black belts on the mat on the Saturday. And, we did that. We spent, me and Brad Call, who is now my partner in crime in teaching jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's the one that kind of brought us the affiliation of Lovato, and maybe I'll get to that after. So we went down to Oklahoma. We spent 4 days training between the grand openings, and met basically every affiliate that was there. Man, came up and introduced themselves, trained with some of the most nicest killers you're ever going to meet. And basically got our butts kicked and sweated and almost died some days on the mats with these guys. And, man, we met some, like I said, some great affiliates. The guys in Canada that are also affiliates are amazing. And these guys are just studs. There's some great guys. What's that?
Where are the other affiliates? Does he have a ton in Canada?
No. So we would be the fourth in Canada right now. So there's Vancouver, which is, it's called Kaboom BJJ. Okay. Kabir, can't remember. I think Kabir's last name is Bath.
Yeah.
Kabir Bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got an amazing academy there. He's a huge resource for us, man. Like, especially the online stuff that he's doing. He makes us, really step up our game to try to, in this hard time, business wise. He's a killer in business too.
Cool.
And he's got some really nice guys we met. Then the other guy is, I think his name is, I can't remember his name right now, but he is, it's Thompson, BJJ, and that's what I can't remember which town it's in.
Alberta?
It's right around, what's that?
Is it in Alberta?
No, he's in Ontario. He's just on the border there. Like, they're not very far from Detroit. So just outside of Windsor, but it's not in Windsor. It's okay. Can't remember what it's called right now, but I'm going to be slapping myself. Yeah, and they do good. He's out there training. Strangely enough, we were there training and we met these guys, and we said, "Oh, we're from Halifax." And one guy goes, "Oh, I'm from Halifax." And strangely enough, he is Josh Whalen's brother from Halifax BJJ. So Pat, and as we met him, so that was a crazy coincidence meeting him, and now following him, chatting with him, and hopefully these guys will. Now they have, I'm sure he's going to go train with his brother, but they also have an affiliate to come down and train with when they're in Atlantic, Canada. Yeah, so exactly. those guys were really good, and Lovato himself, senior and junior, man. I'll tell you what, everybody talks about Rafael Lovato Jr. You got to spend some time with his dad. That guy is, I don't even know, man. I think I'd be scared to go on the mats with him still to this day. Dude's head is full of knowledge, man. It's insane. And got to meet some of his original black belts. He only has one jiu-jitsu black belt that he's ever given out that's still training, and met that guy. And
Justin?
Yeah, that guy's a murderer too.
Justin Rader?
No, Justin. Yeah, there's a story there. I don't know what that story is. He's no longer. I think that's the guy that is. He was Lovato Jr.'s first black belt, if I remember correctly. And I don't know the story, but I had heard that he might not be with the team anymore. I don't know the whole story about that. Yeah. No, the guy I was talking about is Justin Jacobs is actually his name. Okay. And, he was a longtime Lovato senior, trained with him for quite a few years. And I think he's the only existing black belt still training from the the old school.
Oh,
But he spent a lot of time with Sal Hubera also, and is an instructor underneath him too from conversations we had.
some bad company.
It's bad company there, man, and just there's
You guys
yeah,
spent a lot
just
of
the
time
guys.
with them, right? Like you,
What's
like
that?
I saw some pictures. Like you guys spent actual some good quality time, not just mat time, like with Lovato Senior, right?
Oh yeah, we spent. Oh yeah, it was great, man. They drove us around. That's what we were lucky. Coming back to the Brad Call, my new partner in crime here for teaching. He originally trained with a Lovato affiliate in Alberta, and Steve Newman was his name. Anyway, he ended up moving, converting
British,
the gym over to
a
say that
British
again.
guy, yeah, British Steve.
British guy, exactly. Yeah.
I know British Steve. He commentated our Edmonton event. Great guy.
Oh, did he? All right. So yeah, if you look at some of the pictures, Steve's there. So Brad was one of Steve's students, and so they ended up switching over to Lovato at one point in time from a different affiliation. So when this all happened with us, me and Brad had a conversation, and we called Steve, we called Lovato, and Steve vouched for us. And next thing you know, we're in Oklahoma, and we're being picked up by Lovato Senior every day, and taken out to supper with the family and the inner circle, and yeah,
Nice.
and then Steve, we none of it would have been it wouldn't have all happened without Brad and Steve, man. So those guys definitely are the heroes of this new affiliation.
Yeah. Well, you're leading the way too, right? Like, don't give yourself some credit too, right? Like, it takes a team to move a mountain, right? And
Oh,
sometimes the person who's given
yeah,
the first push is the biggest part. So
yeah, I was really lucky, man. I got some great business partners. I mean, Adam Veet and Erica Fleck, who have been with me for a long time, and great friends and great business partners now to actually keep the gym going, and run it properly, and make sure we're still there for a long period of time, right?
makes a big
Uh,
difference when things are run properly.
oh, that's it, man. Like, I mean, I can't focus on everything, so I just got to worry about focusing on programs and fighter development and student development, and yeah, and teaching, right, and building myself. And we got a great curriculum with this all, and
Mm-hmm.
and the kickboxing and the Muay Thai is that's always strong. I retained, I'd say, almost all. I mean, a few. I'm still missing a few of the original students, but hoping a lot of them are going to come back over the next little while once we get going from the Muay Thai program and
Wake the hell
Jiu-Jitsu
up!
program.
Get back there. Period.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see how that all goes once you can actually get open again, man. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we also partnered with Rival Boxing, so we have an amazing boxing program
Yeah.
also now being run at the academy. So man, it's a lot looking up, buddy. We just got to get the doors open.
Yeah, that's it. Sky's the limit, right? And the thing is, like you say, it's like, at the end of the day, it's no hard feelings anywhere. You have to do what's right for yourself in life, and what's right for your family, and what's right for you inside too. Like
Yeah,
you and I have been buddies for a long time now, talking about this stuff many times behind the scenes, right? And
yeah,
a, a perfect example of all of this bullshit of you're stressing and worrying about it is what happened the last couple of days. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
all of this is very small in the grand scheme of things, right? Like it's our business, it's our lives, but at the end of the day, you got to be happy, right? So I'm happy for you, man. Very happy.
yeah.
You're a hard worker, so you deserve it.
I mean, I still go in every day and check out the place and kind of cry a little bit that we're not open, but
Yeah. So, hopefully, within the next, I don't know what's going to happen, Kevin. I'm interested to see what's going to happen after the fact if they're going to allow gyms. Like myself, I work in travel too, right? So what am I
yeah.
like? How am I going to do a bus tour or a plane tour or go on a cruise with people? Like, are they going to let people on a bus again? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I think travel will be definitely that's going to be a little dicey for a while, right? I think traveling within Canada might be a little easier for the next little once it gets going.
yeah, but you have to look
I
at
don't
your
know.
market too. Like, if you have seniors, like clients, are they going to be jumping on a bus to travel? I don't know about
Well,
that.
that's it.
Right?
I think that's going to be the biggest hit everybody's going to take from this. It's not. it's what are people going to do after? Like, uh, number one, the economy is going to be down. Number two, people are going to not want to go to big festivals, big events.
No.
Even if
That,
we're allowed to have them, what kind of viewership, what kind of memberships are we going to get?
that's why I look at it, and I mean that serious. And Foster and I have spoke about it very seriously. Like, we have obviously all the gear to do everything from a small
Yeah,
venue without any fans. So with that too, your costs are extremely low with not a big venue, and there's avenues around it. But I think but then again, you go back, like, are the fighters going to have anywhere to train, right? Like,
well, that's it. I mean, I think the gyms will eventually open. I think
will
it,
ours? I think a Good Life will, but will they, like? But the thing is, martial arts gyms kind of run under the radar a little bit, right? Like,
yeah, we're kind of. I said that to somebody. Someone was mentioning something about the martial arts and kind of being forgotten and not taken care of. And I mean, I hear being a part of the association, I hear everything from Austin, Texas, right
yeah,
to BC about what's going on in all these academies. And Canada, I think we may be a little more lucky than some of the American gyms. I
but
think we're being supported a little bit more just because of small business,
yeah,
but there's a lot of instructors who don't run their academies as a business. I don't know how those guys are going to be able to come back out of this if they're paying rent. If you're rented a community center, I mean, I got a good friend of mine, man, that I started training with when I was 12 years old when we were doing karate, and he teaches out of Canada Game Center. I mean, his whole program's now been canceled.
yeah.
He doesn't know when.
And will they come
Those
back?
are the
That's the thing, right? Like, are people gonna come back? Like, I can't tell you how many times people have sweat in my goddamn mouth doing jujitsu.
yeah, well, yeah, or your
Whatever,
eyes.
whatever, right? Exactly. The bodily fluids are going crazy training, right? Or grappling, whatever it is. Like, but
Yeah,
you don't notice it. You don't think about it. Like, you notice some gross people randomly. You stay away from.
yeah,
But
yeah.
for the
You
most
don't roll the stinky guy, right?
That's it. Well, you do sometimes, right? Like, but no choice. But yeah, I look at it like, I think martial arts clubs. I think because they're so under the radar. Like, technically, I bet you could be open right now if there was a group of like five. If you were one of those clubs that were just like five or
Yeah,
six guys who were tight and younger, and I think you could. But you're being irresponsible, obviously. But I think
yeah,
you
yeah. But I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Good Life,
yeah.
you're not getting away with it. But I think MMA or jiu-jitsu, I think you could. But I think that a lot of the damage is already done because people are like fucking going crazy, like looking at one another and like calling on one another. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna come back where people are like, I love you again. Like, I don't know if that's gonna come back.
yeah. It's a weird scenario, man. You got, I mean, the guy that has a gym in Ontario that I was talking about. I mean, he's had the cops called on him a few times when he's just teaching online classes.
Yeah. Boogeyman got a ticket yesterday.
I was going to say, yeah, Boogeyman got a ticket. Like,
Yeah, he's in there by himself,
yeah, we're
Like,
kind of lucky in Nova Scotia where they're kind of leaving you alone if you're not doing anything stupid, right? Like
yeah,
if you're in there training, I mean, I go and I do some training by myself, just to stay in shape,
yeah.
and
There
no
shouldn't
one's
be
going to
anything
bother
wrong
me.
with that.
What's that?
There shouldn't be anything wrong with that.
No, and I can't. It's no different to me training in my house, right? I mean, I'm out every day now because of my other job,
Yeah.
so I kind of try to do it on my way home or something like that. And then we do some online classes here. I do in here in my basement, and we're expanding that. So I mean, guys got to do what they got to do. I know there's a lot of academies that they're running their students are still paying memberships. They've decreased them by 50%, and they're teaching 3-4 classes a week online.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
important.
signing up new students.
Cool. Nice. I like to
Yeah,
hear that.
yeah. So like I said, even New Era Combat, man, their online training program right now out of his academy is just, far as I can tell, man, they're doing. It's not as good as if you're teaching every day, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's it's popular. There's a lot of people on those classes every day, and
Well,
that
it's
may
like
be the way.
no one's got anything to do right now. Everybody's kind of stuck. Whether you're like working like
Yeah.
yourself, still hustling, you come
Yeah.
back home, you're not really allowed to go back out or do anything. So, you're
Oh,
kind of forced into it. So good for everybody out there like yourself and and Crew Jeff for doing those online
yeah.
things. I think they're important. I saw Sago doing a lot of them too, and John Kelly's doing some at MXT, and I don't know if
I think
LJ is doing any, but
I just seen Titans is doing one. I think I
oh,
seen
cool.
Peter did said something about doing a. It might have been a private. I don't even know, but I seen him post something about that the other day.
Yeah, that's what I
John,
mean, right? It's important for
yeah,
like all these
I
gyms.
think
It's important they stay open, obviously.
I think Foster was the- he posted something today about training on his in his basement, and all I could see was that mustache of his, so I didn't read the rest of the post.
He's got
Right,
a
so
mustache right now. He's got a pig.
I
He's
just
got a
seen it
pig.
when I was waiting for this, so I had to make comment of John Foster's mustache. Right, so
He's got a he's fostering a pig right now.
oh, is
So
that?
yeah, I love Foster, man. He's I got to say the guy's super impressive in how many different things he's able to do. Like he's very
Uh,
he's business wise he's very smart, but on the other side, like he's a hustler, And I got to thank you too. You were a big part of our event, helping a lot of questions I had like leading forward and to get us to the point to the event. So thank you for that, man. You're a
I
big part of that,
mean,
and hopefully a bigger part moving forward, right? I think the sky's the limit for us. I really do.
well, hopefully next event I can actually make it. I was spending the weekend at a cheerleading event that time, my daughter. So I was kind
Yeah.
of I was in Sydney, and that came up, and I had to miss the event. But that's part about being a dad, right? So
Oh, that's it. Are those cheer events? They had the next one because I think I saw you at Worth the Rath Eastling Center like the next weekend.
yeah, it was,
They do a good job, like beautiful job.
dude.
Like, I thought that was in like Wisconsin or something. Like,
Man, it is insane.
yeah.
I made comment. We were at that place the weekend after, and I said to some of the parents, I said, I've been to cage fighting events that had less animosity in the stands than those
Oh,
cheerleading
I can
events.
only imagine. I can only imagine. No, thank you. What I want to
Yeah,
do. But if they need any streaming, by all means, tell them to get in touch with
I will let them know, man. It's those events are huge. It's
That's what I mean. Yeah, there's we spoke about it for many years. Like why you know we don't put it out there, but we could be doing it. Like there's obviously companies out there that do a lot of hockey games now, but we could
yeah,
be doing hockey games, gymnastics, weddings, divorces, whatever. Right? There's lots of
yeah,
stuff that we could do. Right? And we're looking to other things too. Maybe kind of making it into a network. Maybe there's TV shows that could be filmed and released on our own network too. So I think there's a lot of,
yeah.
especially with what's going on right now, I think there's a lot of opportunity for this kind of shit, right?
Man, it's amazing. I started looking at even just like Amazon Prime TV, how many shows are on that, and but even though just combat shows, man, coming back to what we both know is there's all kinds of events that could be people are going to want to watch them. People are looking for things to do now. If you can give them something now, give them a little taste later on, man, they're definitely going to be wanting to maybe get into it or see it, right? Like
Cool.
even
That's
back
it.
to the old days, man, the submission events. People may be starting to get interested in that again. It's
Yeah,
hard, right?
it's interesting. Like I just got so sick of the bullshit involved in the jiu-jitsu community. Like people always said, "Oh, don't ever get involved in MMA. It's way worse." And I found it was way easier. I found it was way easier. Like there was no drama. Like these people, they just want to fight. Like no problem. But you get all these jujitsu people who are like, "Oh, I want $1,000." I'm like, man, that fucking Diego Sanchez wants like that. You're like,
Yeah,
you're no one. Like not in the you're not that you're no one, but like in the
no, but yeah,
things, like when it comes to business, that's how it works. And so I just kind of got sick of that after a while. But I think there's a market for it, and it's funny you say that. I was actually watching some old Joel and I have been speaking about it in the Chokes by the Ocean and Jared, and
yeah.
I've been watching the videos the last couple of days and watching Tap and Egg and that kind of stuff, and it just kind of it fires you up a little bit. But I don't know if it's. I think if you kept it all local, it would be better. But
Yeah, it's hard. It's the same thing when we had that big pro kickboxing event here that I did. I
yeah,
mean, we had some amazing fighters from all over the world here, but
beautiful.
nobody knew who they were,
Yeah,
right? And the problem is that kickboxing's not big in North America. These guys were amazing and huge in Europe, and would draw massive crowds in Europe, but we could barely draw anybody here.
yeah.
How do you justify, right? I mean, how do you bring in a guy, especially in jiu-jitsu? Jiu-jitsu is getting a little bigger now, man. So I mean, the potential is there, but
Yeah. But it's still, you
I
look
don't know.
at the payback. It's all like we look at. I look at like the Diego Sanchez pay per view. So some
Yeah,
people know, but some people don't. But you know what that event cost was like. That was like over a $20,000 event
yeah,
for me personally. With like sponsor, like there's a little
yeah,
sponsorship coming in, but overall, like what people don't realize is like we sold 289 pay per views, but we
yeah,
had over 300 pay per views stolen. So
yeah. So there you go.
like everybody, like and the thing is, Kevin, I have a list of every IP address and every person who stole it, and every person who bought it. And they think they're fooling you, right, when they talk to you the next time. But you know who stole it, and a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of the local community, unfortunately, right? So it's just fucking, it is what it is, man. Anyway, long story
yeah.
short,
It's
MMA, and it's a little bit more worth your time, I think.
yeah. I mean, there's a few more headaches when it comes to, but then those headaches that you have to endure are also the reason why the fighters are more accountable.
Yep.
You know, the fighters have to do medicals. You know what kind of headache that is getting that through the commission. But
What
that
if
makes
you're
the
on
fighter
call?
accountable to actually fight.
Yep.
They have to go through. They have to take the time to be an amateur. It actually costs you money to fight. I mean, it costs you money to travel. I mean, not all promoters pay for hotels.
No.
Um,
No.
I mean, this year we went up to nationals with one of my guys in Muay Thai. Young guy, and it cost his family a lot of money to get him up to nationals.
Yep.
And so, I mean, being an amateur fighter, it costs you money. So, I mean, sometimes when the competitive fighters, MMA, stuff like that, they're a little more accountable because they're spending their own money,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, true enough. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to say the jiu-jitsu community, like the jiu-jitsu community is amazing. Like I think
Oh
when it comes
no,
to
yeah,
submission series and guillotine and rogue productions or rogue grappling and all these events and like all the positive things that have came out all throughout the years of everybody, not just our brands, everybody doing tournaments. One of my favorite
yeah,
days is a tournament day or when you're around that whole community. But
yeah,
and shout out to all the grapplers who put their bodies on the line locally all the time for us. But I just like behind the scenes, you do a tournament, it was just fucking wine and wine and wine. It was just and it jaded me too. Like I just had no interest after a while, right? But I think you can relate to that. I'm
oh
pretty well.
yeah,
You get burned out from it, right? But I think going
get
back to it,
get
it's
tired. Yeah, I mean, just think of that first event you did. Was it the first event that I did with you, or was
yeah,
that the second event, Mission Series? Was it the
first
first
one,
one?
yeah, yeah. You versus
I mean,
Knox.
yeah, yeah, that was a fun day.
Weeks notice, I think, took it on too or something.
What's
Like,
that?
I think you took it on a week's notice too or something.
Yeah, it was a week's notice, and you don't even know the amount of painkillers I was on that day to even walk.
I remember you told me that. You're like, I don't know. It's like, please, please. Yeah, you did great, man. You went there and took the loss, but you look
Oh
great
man,
doing
well
it.
that guy's I don't even know if it would have turned around much better even on my good day, right? So I mean that guy's
Yeah,
a stud.
he certainly is. Great guy. The most handsome man in Eastern Canada, I say all the time.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen him forever. I don't even know where he's at, man. I haven't came across him or seen him anywhere. Of course, I haven't been at a lot of jiu-jitsu events over the last year or so. So maybe he's at them. I'm not sure.
No, I don't. He's at Titans doing his thing, working full time, I think. But I think he goes to the odd tournaments. But again, I feel for Rogue, man. It's frustrating, and you look at all the work you put in, and then you look back at the tournaments again, and there's still no high level. Like above purple belt, you still don't get a lot of like people competing, right? But I
Yeah,
get it because I'm sore as shit too. I have no interest in competing a lot. It's not like you're busy.
yeah,
The older you get, it's not super fun. Low,
yeah. I
for
think the last tournament I did there, it was Jared's tournament. It was one of Jared's tournaments there, and there was three guys in my division,
yeah,
right? Like, and one was my teammate, and the other one was Nick Nahas,
yeah,
right? So I mean, three guys,
yeah.
man, like, which is cool. It's always good
No,
to
but
go roll, right? And I
yeah,
think
it's hard. I know, like, cause
it's yeah, to get guys out, it's hard to get guys out, right?
yeah, it is,
But
and
then
I do.
I looked at it as a. I mean, I went to some tournaments before, and you're basically coaching. You're there 10 hours. You coach 9.5 of them, and then you got to jump on the mat and try to compete. I mean, you're
Yeah,
exhausted.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
I've never done that because I don't have to compete much or coach. But
Yeah.
I'm randomly there doing either, but neither properly or well. But
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I am either, but I'm there, right?
I leave that stuff to the gangsters there, the original Jared and Rorson and those guys. They're great coaches. So I love coaching. I think it's great, but it's not. I just love jujitsu as a hobby and training and grappling. And I like watching and that kind of stuff, but it's not for me. But I got to ask you, man. Dave LeDuc, or you've had a lot of like high level strikers out here. What's the best memory you've had of the whole lot of them? You've had females, males, lots of different people through the years.
I mean, they all have their different, they're different things. I mean, most of the guys stay here with me, right? Like Gabriel Vargas stayed at my house every time he's been here.
Cool.
Crew Jeff has stayed here at my house every time. Dave's wife comes with him, so they normally stay at a hotel. You know what? It's getting to know each one of those people and getting to know how different they are, even though they're kind of all in the same sport.
Yeah.
They all have their own philosophies. They all came from their own different backgrounds. Man, it's just getting to train with all those different concepts,
Yeah.
right? Because a punch is a punch, but every three of those people, have a different way of doing it, right? And those are the three big ones that I've trained with over the last couple of years. We had Iman Barlow here when she fought for Refusion, and her dad are world class Muay Thai, and I mean she's one of the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they have a different concept of how to do certain things. So
Yeah.
it's just really it's just getting to pick their brain, hanging out with them, bringing them around the city, showing them what it is, and getting to know them, man. Because then you can just call them up and send them a message and chat, ask them a question, and learn a little bit, man.
Yeah, I think that's kind of for me too. That's the biggest experience of all this promotion stuff. I look back, monetary. What I can't say it enough. Don't give a shit. And if my mom and dad are watching, they'll verify it. It's one thing I've always said about my life. Whether it's because I've been hit by lightning and hit by a car or whatever. But it's one of those things. I think it's important to surround yourself with good people and talk to people, and everybody's got a different story, and I think that's the coolest thing that I take out of events and things like that. Just even talking to you right now, you learn things, right? And you can never stop learning.
I mean, that's the thing with the martial artist, man, is you got to remember is if you stop challenging yourself, then you're no good to your students, man. You have to put yourself back in that mentality. And if it's going to Oklahoma and going on a mat with all those killers, if it's bringing in a better coach or another better competitor, man, get those guys in your academy. They only make you better. Your students don't look down at you because someone come in to teach you. They look up to you. You have to bring somebody in. You're not the best all the time. You never are. There's always somebody better. So find that person who's better and bring them into your academy. Let them share knowledge and learn a little bit, man. Because I've been stuck in those ruts. I learned at a young age, man, when I first started teaching that you have to train with somebody. I mean, you can't coach yourself all the time, man. You really need to have somebody looking over you, even if they're across the country. Just a message, right?
Yeah, I think that's what pisses me off a lot of time. Like you have to have someone, especially if you're a coach, you have to have someone calling your bluff. Be like, no, that's not right. That's bullshit. You're a liar.
Yeah.
Not in that way, obviously, right?
No, but yeah.
Like if you want your business to be legitimate and be proper, like you have to have experience in martial arts. You have to have put your time into it, right? And I couldn't agree more with that, man. And it's something that I value a lot. Like I put a ton of time on the mats, right? A lot of my body is broken because of this sport, and I think it's one of the things that makes us a better promotion too. So, I think as a coach, when you have that experience and you have someone to kind of keep you in check, like you have Brad or whatever, I think it's structure and support is very important.
Well, I mean, that's the key, right? And sometimes just having that person next to you in the gym too, that maybe is your equal, but is going like, dude, get your ass out here. You're being lazy, and sometimes it's
all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was doing, like I said, I'm doing that online training with Jeff, and I normally send him a message every day after I'm done, and I didn't send him a message for 2 days, and he checked me. He goes, "Dude, where you been?" Oh, no, and I had to, fess up to say I missed a day, and I was making up for it now, right?
Nice. Good.
So,
Good for you. Good for you. I need someone to be doing that with me. My girlfriend's keeping me in check, but the last couple of days I haven't done my push-ups and sit-ups. So I'll have to be getting back on the horse tomorrow. But I gotta thank you, man, for joining us, man. You man. I say man a lot. I don't know why.
hey,
The other day it was super. I don't know where it is, but it's learning, getting better at this. You're trying to fill your words in, right, man? But I got to thank you for joining. You're a great guy. You've been around the sport for a long time. You've been a promoter. You've helped build the sports around here locally. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'll give you the final word, my friend.
Man, no, thank you, buddy. We've been, like I said, you've involved me in a lot of your ventures, and I've involved you in a lot of mine over the last little while. So, I mean, it's just about helping community. We got to help each other, especially now in these times. We got to drop all the crap and kind of take care of each other and support each other's teams and each other's ventures. Because if we
Yeah,
don't, public's not going to, man. So we have to support each other first. It's like you say, don't steal the pot, don't steal the stream, pay for the stream, help, don't ask for a handout from the small business, man. Go support them. And
yeah.
that's jiu-jitsu, that's Muay Thai, kickboxing, whatever, right? We got to support each other and work together and keep getting better.
Couldn't agree more. Like there's lots of good promotions here in the province, and I think everybody working together, the sport's going to continue to grow, and people like yourself involved is what's going to make that happen, man. So shout out to you, shout out to your family, shout out to Coca-Cola, and keep safe, man. Lots of love, and thanks for all your help over the years. And I'm sure we'll talk very soon.
All right, brother. We'll be talking soon, man. Take care.
All right, man.
All right, dude. All right, bye.
Kevin Thibault, my boy. All right, folks, there you have it. My man, Kevin Thibault, a super great guy and the owner of Clinch Training Center. Make sure you check it out on Instagram, Facebook, and a great guy. Get in touch with him for some jiu-jitsu, striking, and all that stuff. So, we'll be back tomorrow night, folks, with a great show. We have Achilles Estrama, who is a super talented fighter out of British Columbia, a title holder out of BFL. As well, will have former UFC fighter, former $1 million winner, and now commentator out of the PFL, Sean O'Connell, the UFC PFL heavyweight athlete. So that'll be exciting to chat with him. I have no words left. I'm tired. I love you. If you can be anything in this world, be kind. Goodbye.